For the past 2 decades, few games have been as prolific as Activision Blizzard's World of Warcraft. World of Warcraft changed the landscape of an entire genre, bringing the niche MMORPG into mainstream. And with so many expansions having been released, we've put together a list of the top 10 best expansions from the World of Warcraft games to have ever been released. And of course, just before we do go into the video, if you do like this type of content and you would like to see some more top 10 related videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. And with all that said, let's just get straight into the video. These are the top 10 best expansions from the World of Warcraft games to have ever been released. Number 10, Battle for Azeroth. This expansion pack was the best-selling pack of all time according to Blizzard, and the relative success of the Legion expansion gave fans hope for the future of the game. Although this expansion was lacking new content and balanced classes, and of course an MMORPG endgame. Since its release, Battle for Azeroth has turned over some of those aspects, but a lot of fans felt burnt out once again. Critics may have given this game relatively good scores, but the Metacritic user score sits at 3.0 out of 10. Number 9, Dragonflight. The Dragons of Azeroth has always been an interesting part of the lore, taking a pivotal role in almost every world-changing or universe-shifting event, with this expansion finally giving the series a dedicated chapter to their history and adventures. While this expansion is still lagging with a score of only 4.4 out of 10, the trend is on the rise. Other changes to the talent and professional systems are also getting positive attention, and it's also nice to see an expansion that makes some changes for newbies and new players, instead of limiting it to just experts planning their end game. Number 8, Mists of Pandaria. When this game was released back in 2012, this was one of the first time fans' frustrations with the game extended beyond World of Warcraft's community. The number of images containing a boxed copy of this game next to copies of Kung Fu Panda 2 for Xbox was probably higher than the sales for the latter. For outsiders though, the expansion's new areas looked really good. The new player experience was greatly improved, and the pet battles were a great minigame for casual players. However, a lot of the negative reviews and issues with talent changes, and in general a bad direction for the game. For a lot of players though, a lot of them were relieved that now instead of having to level up, you could just get to the good part of the MMO instead of having to focus on just leveling up. Number 7, Shadowlands. This expansion, following an intensive alpha and testing period, sees major changes to the game and the world, helping keep things fresh. The players travel to an alternate reality, where only they can stop a great calamity that threatens both realms. It also, according to both fans and critic reviews, has what many people consider to be the best World of Warcraft story that is told in years. Players also enjoyed the new Covenant system and the beautiful landscapes that Blizzard has crafted, making this game one of the fastest selling PC games for a while, a title that World of Warcraft has held multiple times by now. Number 6, Warlords of Draenor. Following this game's release in 2014, this title had to follow the relatively weak Mists of Pandaria and deliver something old and new fans could enjoy. To its credit though, this expansion did improve of many of the problems with the previous release, and although the quests were quite linear, they were also much improved. However, as documented by a torrent of reviews talking about the issues this expansion had, the launch was an absolute disaster, and the pack stayed like that for quite some time. The new content was also pretty stretched thin, leading players to hit new level caps pretty quickly. Number 5, Legion. Released in 2016, followed by 2 arguably 3 less than stellar expansions in a row, World of Warcraft fans had lost all hope and were not prepared for what Legion would deliver. The storyline was one of the greatest in a long time, impressing fans and critics alike. This expansion was steeped in nostalgia, and the expansion melded beloved elements of Wrath of the Lich King and Burning Crusade, creating an experience that fans couldn't help but love. As the patches came in though for Legion, more and more people were sold onto it. The final raid tier in particular was especially fun, and the grind was still present, which is what you'd expect from an MMO. Number 4, Cataclysm. Released in 2010, Cataclysm marked a turning point in Activision's Blizzard's philosophy with World of Warcraft. The existing areas had started to suffer from age, and a lot of the old quests felt very outdated in comparison. And on that note, critics were absolutely in love with the expansion's attempt to revitalize what had become somewhat stale. Fans, on the other hand, were divided as to whether this was a good idea or not. Some fans thought the streamlined quests were much needed, while others felt that it kind of ruined the challenge, although for better or worse, Cataclysm was a landmark expansion success for Activision Blizzard. Number 3. Wrath of the Lich King. The Wrath of the Lich King, released in 2008, was considered by many the last time that World of Warcraft was good. The expansion brought players to Northrend, home of the Lich King and his Frozen Throne. This expansion directly follows the plot laid out in World of Warcraft 3, the Frozen Throne, and many fans describe the gameplay as very addictive and fun, delivering high-octane raids and fun quests, but now with better customization. Wrath of the Lich King had a little something for all types of fans, and reignited interest in the game. It could be argued that Wrath of the Lich King played a huge role in making World of Warcraft a cultural landmark, and is rated by many to be the best World of Warcraft expansion. Number 2. Burning Crusade. This expansion, released in 2007, was World of Warcraft's first expansion and a huge success. While it did have a somewhat poor new player experience, Burning Crusade still sits among the best World of Warcraft's expansions. This expansion added a little bit of everything without drastically changing what made World of Warcraft so good. New races were solid additions, as well as the new mounts, on top of the raids, and endgame content were just as good as what delivered before. Number 1. Classic. Referring to the 2004 original release and not the 2019 version, if you count the original base game as an expansion, this game defined an entire genre and generation of PC gaming. When this game was released way back in 2004, Blizzard were at the top of their game with this initial release. This game was often a bit of a grind and somewhat linear at times, but there was hardly a better social experience in gaming than the World of Warcraft Classic. It's not surprising to see the Classic at the top, and sometimes the original is just the best. And so there you pretty much have it. Those were the top 10 best World of Warcraft expansions to have ever been released. So what did you think of the top 10 list? Do you agree with the order that we put them in? Or perhaps that you think that there's a different order that they should have been placed in? If so, do let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comment section below. I would love to hear it. And of course, not forgetting that if you do like this type of content and you would like to see some more top 10 videos, be sure to hit that subscribe button and of course, like this video. I'll also leave some more videos at the end of this video if you would like to check them out. Thanks very much for watching, guys, and I will see you all next time.